Alright, so as you already know, Sonic Frontiers has been out for almost 5 full days now, which means people are playing it, people are beating it, and sharing their experiences. And of course, that means the director of the game, Daddy Kish, as we call him, or Morio Kishimoto, has got something to say about that, as he has now got a Twitter page. And we're going to get into all of that right now. But if you subscribe to the channel already, please make sure to subscribe. We are trying to hit 100,000 subscribers. So yes, you can see here, covered by Sawasti, it says, Kishimoto says we are listening to player feedback for the next Sonic title. You go to the article here, it says, Morio Kishimoto, who is the director of Sonic Frontiers, has stated the team are listening to the opinions of critics and players. While Daddy Kish believes the team still has a long way to go, the team are listening to the feedback Sonic Frontiers has received, indicating critic and player feedback will be incorporated into the next Sonic title. Kishimoto stated in an interview how the team listened to the feedback from focus groups to improve Sonic Frontiers. It seems more feedback will be gathered for the next Sonic title. If you're talking about the focus groups thing here, like this links to this particular tweet, and this was from an interview back in September, and it said Kishimoto says, the hidden goal of this game is bringing Sonic Team back to the top of the gaming industry. They thoroughly did everything to make the game good. They held playtesting once every 3 or 4 months until this July since 2017 or 2018. So basically they were putting in a lot of work to get the approval of the general gaming public or whatever, and it seems to be working for them right now, honestly. Although I don't believe they thoroughly did everything to make the game good. I mean, they clearly needed more time in the oven with those layer islands. But nonetheless, this is the tweet that they were referring to from this article, and this is obviously Google Translate, so it's not perfect, but it says here, and you can see it was posted on the 11th of November. I'm sorry I couldn't contact you. I'm guessing he couldn't tweet, bad translation, because I've been busy since the release date. I'm relieved that the release date has arrived and it seems to have reached everyone safely. Again, bad translation, like reached everyone safely, as if you sent a package to someone on another continent and, you know, DHL didn't fuck it up or some shit. Like, I'm glad it reached you safely kind of thing. But nonetheless, we are checking the opinions of the critics and everyone. As you pointed out, we still have a long way to go. And we take this seriously. It's a global playtest. I don't think calling it a global playtest is the best idea. No one wants to feel like they paid full price to be a guinea pig. But, you know, at the end of the day, it is a playtest in the sense that this is the first time they have taken the formula that was done in Adventure 1 Unleashed to this level of scale. So, obviously, we are essentially testing it to see what the opinions are. And whether they can refine it for a sequel or not, we shall see. Now, there is some fear that they're going to go the Lost World route, right? And what that is like when Generations came out, there was a decent amount of good feedback, and people were like, okay, all you have to do is make another one, but original, right? Maybe a bit longer, maybe a bit more challenging, and then they went and made Lost World. So it was like, are we at a point right now where Sonic Frontiers is getting all this positive reception, and then instead of making Frontiers 2, they just go and make something else that's fucking random? I don't know. I'm gonna have to delve into that in a later video. Let me know if you want to see that. But there is some evidence to point towards them potentially doing a Frontiers 2, and this was covered over a year ago. This is 14th June 2021. This is before we had any gameplay of this game. We're still calling it Rangers. We had that little CGI, you know that little CGI Sonic running for like 20 seconds or whatever. But you can see from this video that I made, I'm actually covering it with my face, but you can see 14th June 2021. You can see Iizuka said here, Iizuka thanks fans for being patient in regards to the next main Sonic game, and said that after the release of Sonic Forces, Sonic Team in Japan was trying many different approaches to deliver a next-gen Sonic experience. It was also expressed that the team has been thinking about how a modern gameplay experience should be for a Sonic title, and that this game will probably define the path forward they plan to take for the next decade. So clearly they want to copy this formula at least 1-2 more times, right? Like, they spent all this time making these islands. I imagine they want to reuse some assets and shit. Like, they want to get more money out of it. I'm just saying, like, if this thing is working, they need to do it again with a bit more refinement. I asked people on my YouTube community tab post, what will be the most important addition for you in a potential Sonic Frontiers 2? And most people said all original, fully realized islands plus minimal no 2D. Essentially aligning with what I was saying, which was that there was too much 2D in later islands, especially the reuse of assets as well on the 4th and 5th island. I did a poll asking people what the best island was, and most people said Kronos, and then the second highest was Ares, and it just went downhill from there. So it's clear they were running out of time. They're like, oh, we can't get the layer islands to the same level of quality as the first two, and they're gonna have to sort that out, right? Some people might be thinking more time is the solution, but in reality, the solution is more manpower, because they be having less than 100 people working on these games. Obviously, after Rise of Lyric was a flop, I think the budget cuts were crazy. But now that we're in the multimedia era and the movies are doing well, they need to realize that there's enough clout associated with the Sonic brand again that they need to be giving these developers more time. There's a reason why a lot of these AAA devs like Ubisoft Montreal are able to pump out AAA games within 1 to 3 years consistently. It's because they have more manpower. That's it, right? So if you got double the people working on Frontiers that were actually working on it, then within that 5-year period, the game you would have gotten would have been far grander in scope than the amount of developers they had. So it's not just about throw more years at it, throw more people at it, right? Increase the budget, all right? People are clearly interested in this Frontiers formula. If you give it a bit more people to work on it, then you won't have to cut as many corners, right? But I think Sega are more of the company that they'll rather just do the bare minimum instead of going the extra mile to truly create a masterpiece. But yeah, this is the poll I did. People wanted to see all original cyberspace as well. People wanted to see multiple playable characters. People wanted to see quality of life updates. And the game is seriously in need of some quality of life update. I covered this before, even in my stream while I was playing the game. You can see here, like, I'll show it here right now. I wish I could X through this. Like, it takes so long to go through this. Like, and then the input doesn't register straight away. Yeah, the input when just the thing caps. Shows up like the no thanks and all that. So you gotta like wait through it. Right now I'm pressing down. It just doesn't go down. It just sits there for a while. Yeah, I demonstrated it here. You can't skip through. You have to sit through it. I'm like, before it lets me go down. So there's a lot of little. That's just one example of something. There's a mod already that's just sped up this whole thing. Like, bam. Even then, it still has the little delay where you can't press anything. But even then, you're just speeding through this thing. So these are little things that they wanted to be like a AAA game, right? They wanted to be, what was it? Bringing back Sonic to the top of the gaming industry, things like that. They wanted a game that was like on the level, essentially, of like a modern gameplay experience. And these kind of little things are the things that modern day games would do. They would have these quality of life updates. Everything would function as well. Like, there's no boss rush mode. Again, I've gone into this on my channel. Like, I guess you could call it a review where I talk about the game. So you can watch that if you want to see my full thoughts. But there's a lot of things that the game could have used if they had more time, clearly. But on top of that, Sonic Frontiers has the highest Metacritic user score in the series. So you got the critic score and the user score. The user score is the highest right now. It says here, Sonic Frontiers is a hit with fans, opening to the highest Metacritic user score in the series so far. At the time of writing, the PC version of Sonic Frontiers is sitting at an 8.9 out of 10 on the site, beating fan favorites such as Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Generations. And Unleashed. Unleashed is at an 8.5. This comes as Frontiers is also treated by surprisingly high critic scores for a modern Sonic game, as many found themselves pleasantly surprised by the Bluebird's latest outing. The critic score currently sits at 72 out of 100, tying with Sonic Heroes and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I mean, that's a bit of a cap right there, because Heroes is sitting at 73, which, again, Frontiers on Switch is at 73 as well, to be fair. But SA2 Battle has a lower Metacritic than SA2 Dreamcast, because I guess re-release, let's lower the score, right? They did it with SADX as well. SA2 Original has like an 89 on Metacritic critic score, which is the highest for a modern Sonic game. So, you know, either way, both the PC and Switch release of Frontiers take the lead on the user score front, just about beating Mega Collection Plus. Maybe you know about Mega Collection Plus. Even several hiccups in Frontiers launch don't appear enough to put fans off. For example, the Series S release isn't hitting 60 FPS despite being advertised as such. It also turns out that you can't download the DLC content after you've beaten the tutorial, meaning some fans have already had to start all over again. Add that to a pretty big pop-in issue for the open world, and there are plenty of reasons for fans to lower their score. Yeah, it seems that Frontiers pros are outweighing the cons, and players sing as praise online, specifically commending the open world, the boss battles. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things, right? The game starts to dip in quality after the second island. Most people who review the game probably didn't even get that far. I'm sure a lot of them did get that far as well, but when you're playing those first two islands, you really be thinking like this game is a 9, and then you start to get further and further in, get to the final boss on hard mode, and you're like, okay, I can see the cut corners now. Nonetheless, it's good that the game is getting good scores. Hopefully they don't abandon it like they did after Generations. Kishimoto really needed this W because his track record, wasn't the greatest. Okay, I mean, I guess Colors was well received, so he had that, but that doesn't count because I don't like it personally. I'm joking. Okay, I'm just saying, like, he had one, I guess, game he could call a hit, right? Sonic 4 was Special Thanks, but you're not really gonna count that. Lost World wasn't considered a hit. Forces was a hit to the gut. Secret Rings and Black Knight also not considered hits. Although, again, my favorite game on this list, at least pre-Frontiers, would have been Secret Rings had it had regular control, because I actually enjoyed the level design of that game. I mean, it seemed like a fun game. It's just motion controls were just awesome. So I actually would have had a lot of fun with Secret Rings. But yeah, it's good that he's got something that's actually considered a hit now. Like Frontiers, it didn't get the green critic score on Metacritic, and Colors did, but the majority of people seem to agree that Frontiers is better than Colors, which, you know, I'm so glad that we're saying that because Colors was mid, but I'm just glad he's got a hit. Hopefully they go into Frontiers 2 with the multimedia budget, you know, like movies are doing well. Go into Frontiers 2 with a bigger budget, more manpower, cut less corners. Please, no EDM and Green Hill Chemical Prawn Sky Sanctuary. They're never gonna listen, but just we're sick of seeing that shit, please. Anyway, let me know if you want to see a full video on like what I would like to see in Sonic Frontiers 2. Let me know if you want to see more mod streams or mod videos, and actually let me know if you want to see a highlights video. I could do a highlights video where I, you know, go through my my first playthrough, like the 16-hour streams, and just cut down some funny moments for like 10 to 30 minutes. Let me know, because otherwise, you know, I won't do it because I have to sit through like hours of content to make that. So if you want to see it, you better tell me in the comment section. But yeah, Frontiers 2 is being talked about, or the next game, whatever you want to call it. Let me know what you guys think about that. What would you want to see in a Frontiers 2? What do you think they need to improve? And of course, a big shout out to all my channel members. If you want to become a channel member, you can click the join button next to the subscribe button. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Make sure to check out the non-Sonic channel. The link will be in the description. But that's all I have to say right now. So, Remy out.